What's going on, everyone? So, the Los Angeles Lakers are going to be without LeBron James for the entirety of preseason. Reports came out that LeBron James is out for the preseason, dealing with a nerve irritation in his glute. So, his gluteus maximus is dealing with nerve irritation. Cue all the jokes. Obviously, this is not good. It's not unfortunate. It doesn't seem to be anything to worry about, for the season or in the playoffs or anything like that. It's one of those things where it's like, if the games really mattered or were important, that he would be playing. But this does bring concern for a couple of things. One, and the biggest one, is chemistry, right? Like, this is your full training camp, first full off season. And I've talked about this training camp in particular might be your most important for the Luka era, right? Because this is where you're really trying to carve out what you want this team to look like alongside Luka Doncic, right? Luka Doncic is the guy, the face, the one cornerstone that you have right now for the long haul. LeBron James, he might be here another year, two, whatever, but he's probably not going to be here another 8. More likely than not, right? So you want to kind of get as many reps and opportunity and whatnot with Luka and LeBron in particular for this season. The more opportunities that they have together, the more chemistry that they can build together, the more likely that it is that those two as a duo are going to be good enough to the level in which we could maybe get into title contention. Lakers have a lot of issues, right? Like, you see the perimeter defense and the concerns in that regard, the lack of athleticism in that regard, right? Like, we could probably use maybe a better backup. Jackson Hayes has been okay, right? Like, it still lack the discipline on the defensive side with him, and just even setting screens and stuff. There's still a lot of things that Jackson Hayes is just not improved on, right? We'll see how this season progresses and whatnot. But despite all the flaws, despite all of the holes and the concerns with this team, the one thing the Lakers have that no one else has is 2 top 10 players and 2 of the best engines in all of basketball. You're talking about Luka Doncic and LeBron James could potentially, if it works, be the best duo in all of basketball. And the one thing, once you get to the playoffs and the postseason and all that stuff, even if we do have flaws, I think the Lakers will make moves and do things to try to, again, Rob Pelinka's made a trade every season except for one, right? And it was the one year that nothing happened. It was like the worst trade deadline ever. And everyone, DeJounte Murray and guys like that got traded in the offseason. But, from the Lakers standpoint, right? Like, the one thing, even if the Lakers stay as is, that gives you that boat of confidence that we have a chance to win a championship is a rejuvenated MVP level Luka, who is going to be, probably the best version of himself maybe we've ever seen. And then LeBron James, who still at any moment can put that cape on and go win you a game or help you, win a series or something like that. Also, he's going to be the best second option maybe ever, right? So, like, it's just to not have those two kind of get that opportunity in training camp and in preseason, right? Like, I'm not expecting them to play 40 minutes a night in preseason or anything like that, but usually get like that dress rehearsal game where, the guys might play the half or they might play, 7 minutes a quarter or something like that, where you kind of try to get like, okay, we got everything that we want worked out, but also the defensive schemes, the offense schemes, all of the things that JJ Redick and the coaching staff is trying to implement with this team alongside Luka, Austin Reeves, DeAndre Ayton, Jared Vanderbilt, Rui Hachimura, so on and so forth, right? You want LeBron to be involved in all that because you want to be able to put LeBron in a position. Look, LeBron is one of, if not the smartest players ever. Like, I'm not worried about him kind of figuring out how to fit in, but it makes things so much easier when expedite things a little bit for this Lakers team if he was already kind of integrated into everything and he's working out, rather than now the season's begun and now you're trying to integrate him in and all that stuff and everyone else kind of has and knows what they're supposed to do and LeBron's just kind of out there trying to figure it out and navigate it, right? Like, it's not a good spot you want to be in. If this was, LeBron's team where it's like, hey, we're just, putting the ball in LeBron's hands and he's just going to make every play. This was like 2020 and it's like, LeBron James, he's going to be the guy, he's going to be on ball, he's going to have the basketball in his hands, 90% of the time, then it's like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not worried about it. You just put the ball in LeBron's hands and then everyone else just kind of floats around him, right? But this is going to be very different. And we saw at times, don't get me wrong, we saw at times last season where Luka and LeBron worked and they worked great. You're talking about two of the highest IQ guys in all of basketball that I don't have a ton of concerns about them kind of figuring stuff out and building chemistry, but this is really good, and then there's this could win us an NBA championship. Like we could look at those two and be like, wow, they are great. But are they to the level in which we are comfortable in being like, hey, the Lakers are a true contender because Luka and LeBron James are that good, right? Like that's the difference. Like I've talked about, I think LeBron James is going to have one of, if not the most efficient seasons of his career because he's going to be playing alongside Luka Doncic, right? And he's outside of Jokic might be the only guy in the league that's going to draw the attention and be able to create the collapse of the defense to the level in which LeBron James has never had before, right? Like, and I've talked about, like, if this was LeBron like 5 years ago, I don't think this works. I don't think the Luka LeBron tandem works. But given where LeBron is at this stage of his career, I think it's a match made in heaven because LeBron has been looking for somebody like Luka, not to the level of Luka. He's been looking for just a ball handler, somebody that can make plays, take the pressure off of LeBron so LeBron could play more off ball so he doesn't have to handle all the duties basically since the bubble, right? It's why we went and got Dennis Schroeder and then they went and got, a Russell Westbrook and then a D'Angelo Russell and Schroeder again and all this stuff because they've been trying to find that guy to come in and be able to take the pressure off of LeBron. No one thought, it was like, man, what would be ideal, Jokic or Luka? But those two teams would never trade those guys. They'd be completely out of their mind to do something like that. Fast forward, to 2024, right? Or I guess 2025 at that time. And all of a sudden Luka's a Laker. Right? Like that was so, it was just like, you couldn't have asked for a better fit for LeBron James, a better, kind of what LeBron's been like wanting and begging and screaming for. Well, you got it. You got it now. And so you need that time to really kind of carve it out. Like, I'm not worried about it looking nice and looking good, but does it look good to the point of, hey, we can go win a championship with these two, right? Maybe it's very possible, right? Like I'm not saying that, this is the be all end all, the world's over, whatnot, all of that stuff. But it is something that is at least a little concerning. It's something that's like, you want to get as many reps as possible. Last season, Lakers played I think it was like 22, 23 games together with, LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves and stuff. So you want to get as many reps and opportunity as possible. Right? Like, Luka's going to be on ball. LeBron's going to be playing off ball. You got, DeAndre Ayton, who's going to be implemented in that. And then Austin Reeves. Like, you need to figure out, can Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, and LeBron James kind of work together to the level in which we need them to? Now, the other kind of thing is this something that is going to carry LeBron into the season? Right? Is this just kind of like a safety measure? Like, hey, we don't want to make it worse during that. We'll get into the regular season. We'll kind of manage them from there. Is it something like that? Or is it something that could, persist and kind of cause some issues going into the actual season, right? Because, if he's going to want to play 65 games, right? But again, if this is something that bothers him to the level where it kind of affects his game, that could be an issue. Or if he misses any significant time because of this, right? Like, if LeBron only plays 45 games, knock on wood, right? Like, it's a big difference than him playing, even 65 or 70, something like that, to where, he's going to be able to fit within this team and we're going to be able to win enough games to be comfortably where we want. Right? Like, all of these things are a factor. So it's definitely something to kind of keep an eye on with LeBron James. It's a little concerning that he's dealing with this, going into year 23, age 41, all of these things, like dealing with nerve issues, right? Like, it's like, that could be something that, we need to kind of keep an eye on and monitor. Then kind of the last point that I want to dive into is like on a brighter note is this could give potentially Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves an opportunity kind of build their relationship and build their chemistry because, like I've talked about, right? We are heading into a contract year for Austin Reeves, right? So, and Lakers are about to pay him $35 to $40 million, which I'm all right. Like, even if he's great, I'm still not comfortable paying him necessarily. But we need to find out, does Luka and Austin Reeves, can they coexist to the level that we need? Like, is Austin Reeves that second guy alongside Luka that with the right pieces and complementary things around him long term? That's what we need. We're in business, right? Let's go. Right. And so you want to see as many reps as possible, right? Like, you want to see as much opportunities. But I don't want that to happen at the detriment of like LeBron not playing for, 60 games this season or something like that. Again, knock on wood. But, at least this preseason, hopefully, once we get back those final 3 games, maybe we'll get a little Luka, Austin Reeves, and kind of see how do those two play off of each other, and can those two play off of each other enough? Plus, throughout the course of the regular season, you kind of need to keep an eye on those two, right? Do the Lakers kind of try to manage LeBron's minutes this year? And if so, then we get more minutes and opportunity with Luka and Austin Reeves to where they can kind of shape and we can kind of get a better sample size to do a proper, evaluation, and if whatever you're going to pay him, at least it's an educated decision rather than right now. It's like he's always been the third guy, right? Like, is he great as the third guy and on any, because there's a difference between having to step up on a random night. Like Austin Reeves, we've seen him do some crazy, incredible things. Like, the guy during the regular season has been spectacular, no doubt about it. We've watched him go into Boston in the championship season for Boston, and him and Jackson Hayes and a bunch of G League guys run them off their own floor, right? So we've seen Austin Reeves play to a level in which we're like, this is incredible, right? His average without LeBron on the court is 28, 6, and 8, right? Like, is that who he is if he gets the opportunity as a second option? Not necessarily 26 or 28, 6, and 8, but like, is he 23, 6, and 8, or 23, 6, and 6, or something like that, right? Like, that's a big, like, there's a big difference between that and he's just like a 15-point a game guy when he's slotted alongside Luka, because Luka's just dominating the basketball and he's not the shooter that you need alongside. Like, there's a lot of questions in that regard that kind of need to be answered at some point. So we'll see. But again, little concerning, nothing like major, but anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. If you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.